Hello, everybody. Welcome back to A Certain Point of View in our weekly discussions of The Last of Us. Thank you to everyone who is watching. Welcome. We are here to discuss episode 6, simply titled Kin. Big episode. We got a reunion that we've been looking forward to for quite a while. And some changes from the video game that I'm very excited to get into with the panel today. We have Molly, we have Brian, we have Alex. Jill will be joining us shortly. She is coming home from work. I think she said 5:07, so that should be in just a few minutes. But let's see how everybody's doing today. Check in on everyone. Molly, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. The weather's been better here recently, but it was rainy today, so now it's just gross and sticky and humid outside, and I am not having it. It is not even March yet. I can't deal with the spring weather yet. It's messing with me.
Wait, so you'd rather have the winter weather than the spring weather? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, because we didn't have winter weather for that long.
Just doesn't last long here.
Ah, got it. Okay, fair enough. We got too much winter this year. Californians are like, get it out of here. We only need a week of it unusual, and it came last 3 months. It's been nonstop. So
it's when it warms up here and gets humid, it's like you have to take a shower anytime after you go for a walk outside. It's just bad.
I am not envious of that at all. Brian, how about you, man? Camera settings are throwing you for a loop today, but you do.
I'm annoyed now because now I genuinely I feel like everyone's close, and then I'm like, hey, how's it going? Way back here now. Now I'm annoyed.
I'll do this.
No, you're fine. No,
I can zoom mine. I can zoom out, but everything past my frame is
Molly, zoom back
disaster.
in. I hate
so.
Yeah, Jake, it'll make me feel better if you zoom back out, but only you.
No, because my garage is on the outside of the frame, so I'm not. No.
And I know what the floor looks like currently.
It's full of dog.
Yeah. Oh, then I definitely want you to zoom back out. Let's see. Good. I saw a fight today, but I wasn't in it this time, so that was nice.
That's just a spectator.
Mm-hmm. It was on the other side of the campus, and I was like, I don't want to walk that far.
Yeah.
I just shut my door and went back inside.
Oh, pretend like I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. But yeah, other than that, chilling. Jake just ruined my day that it's about to rain for a week straight. But yeah, and it's his birthday tomorrow, though.
Woo.
It is. Thank you.
You're old.
I'm not as old as you.
That's okay.
Now
you're insulting them also.
I'm the youngest on the panel.
We're used to it.
Alex, how about you? How you doing today?
All right. My allergies have been acting up because of the changing weather. So if I'll try not to cough into the microphone or slurp too much water. And if I have to get up and pee for the 80th time today, I'll just do that quietly. That's where I'm going to leave if I just get up suddenly.
Hydration.
It's
you
all good.
Slurping water has been like that old couple in Parks and Rec where anything he does annoys her. So every time I hear him gulp water, I'm like, that's.
If we want to talk about gulping water, here we go. We go.
No.
Yeah, we don't have to get into it, Brian. It's okay. We won't get into it.
It's not me. It's my whole family. I've noticed it.
All right, well, let's get into it. We have an exciting episode to discuss today. A lot happened in this episode. We obviously saw the reunion between Joel and Tommy, which is very exciting. We saw some cool action scenes. We saw some changes from the game, a completely different setting, a time jump. A lot happened from last week to this week. So I want to hear from everybody just quickly on what you thought of the episode. Alex, I'll go right back to you. What was your initial reaction to episode 6?
I liked it, just like I like the whole show. It seems to be living up to my thought that all of the odd numbered episodes are the great ones, and the even number ones are still I still liked it a lot, but not as much as the odd ones for whatever reason. It's just this one kind of was a bridge to something that I'm like, ooh, but we're going to get closer to what I know is coming.
That means that 9, which is the finale, is going to be an absolute banger. If that's
Exactly,
the case. So
yeah.
I love it. Hey, I'll stick with that. I'll stick with that. Brian, what about you? What did you think of the episode? Quickly.
Why do you have to say quickly to me?
You can go on.
I enjoyed it. I love Rutina Wesley. I've known her since the True Blood days.
Tara.
Is that Tommy's wife?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
okay.
And seeing her again made me very excited because she is someone that can act the hell out of a role, but doesn't get enough screen time.
I hope we see more of her. I obviously don't know what happens, so I hope we see.
I don't
more
either,
of her,
but
so.
I honestly, that's what I was most happy and excited about, was seeing her, because I'm like, yes, because she's, if you've ever watched True Blood, she's fan-freaking-tastic.
So good.
So yeah,
Cool. And Molly?
Yeah, I liked this episode. What I didn't appreciate was them start. Oh,
what the hell?
My hands aren't on anything. I don't know what's happening. Brian, you're a mess today.
I'm literally sitting here with my hands in my lap, and all of a sudden Jake kicks me out. What is
Brian's
this?
My
like,
hands are.
I said my thoughts and I'm gone. Bye.
Yeah.
I didn't appreciate them showing us that last bit from the last episode at the very beginning of this one.
Yeah.
I was like, why did we have to see that
Yeah.
again? But I get
Yeah.
the fact that it was because they were going to show that there was a big time jump, but I was just like not prepared for that to start the episode off. But yeah, it was great to see Joel just like light up and have an emotional reaction to meeting back up with Tommy. But then after that, you see his like slow progression into like right back to grumpy Joel.
Mhm.
And what's the town called? I was trying to find the name of the
Jackson.
It's Jackson,
Jackson.
Wyoming. Yeah.
Jackson. I love that little town. It's such a cool area, and
They seem better off now than they probably did when the world wasn't going to hell.
They're communists.
Yeah, that made me laugh so hard. This is a commune. We're communists.
Like, no, it ain't like that.
Yeah,
it is like that.
And I like. Lastly, quickly, I liked that Joel, even though he got grumpy again, he's still like in a place where he can show his emotion and tell Tommy how he feels. There's none of this like uber masculine BS where he's like, I don't want to talk about it. He's more open in this episode.
Oh, I want to get to that scene because that scene later on in the episode was probably the best moment in the episode for me. Yeah, I liked the episode a lot. I thought it was very cool to see just a very different setting. The first 5 episodes has very been city driven, right? They're inside the walls of major cities, and now we're kind of out in the open and we're seeing a different environment in this world. And the time jump is very interesting, and, just to see that they've been traveling for that long. And they finally got there, and what they've kind of been through. The survival stuff with Joel and Ellie is very interesting as well. And kind of what she's learning and how she's coping with it and everything. So I thought it was a very strong episode, but I am, after Alex said it, I'm like, ooh, yeah, that's very true. Odd number episodes have kind of been the ones that you look out for. And then it's like the evens are almost the story driven ones setting everything up. So I'm looking forward to what's coming in these next 3. So like the episode, Molly mentioned already, we started off with a little bit of flashback of the previous episode because of the time jump. But the biggest moment that happens at the beginning of the episode is meeting of the old couple who is just isolated out in the wilderness, kind of living their life. Joel gets some information from them. I don't have the actor's name off the top of my head, but I love seeing him. He's in so much stuff over like
Twilight.
Everything. Is he from Twilight? Is that what he's from? I know he's in a lot of other stuff, but
he's the one that has a heart attack, Molly, in the woods.
Wait, who are we talking about?
In the older couple in the beginning of this episode, the gentleman.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, they were hilarious.
Yeah, they were great.
She was.
Yeah, and it's a very small meeting, obviously, but it obviously had a little bit of importance, kind of setting them up about this people who are killing people, the river of death, this whole thing. I don't know if is that a part of the game at all? Are these characters that we met in the game, or is that just something for this story?
That was just for this story. Yeah, they're not part of the game at all. It's very similar otherwise, like the jump from Summer and what happens with Henry and Sam, and then you just jump all the way to Jackson almost, and you're basically approaching that hydroelectric dam.
Oh, so you don't actually so there's an actual jump in the game.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
This is where I started to remember the game from when you were playing it. Because you played the first one live, right?
Mm-mm.
At some point on...
Nope.
Oh, someone did.
I was like, how did you see that?
I wonder who it was then. Someone's I watched stream because I immediately recognized the dam and went, oh, I remember that. And then later on, the monkeys also, I was like, oh, I remember that too. So whatever bit of the story I know, it's like, I know this part. So I was like, oh. Because I remember someone constantly dying at the dam. I remember that.
I've had other people say that they thought that you streamed it, Alex. So did we do that on Twitch at the very beginning of lockdown? Maybe? And just don't remember it?
So.
Because I didn't think we did either, but enough people have been like, didn't you stream it?
I don't think so.
Maybe we did that in our sleep.
Well, I mean, he does turn on his streams without being there, so I could have just played without him.
Happened one time.
So, not a ton happened before we got to Jackson, but I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on how we saw the different kind of relationship that even just from last episode to this episode, because of the time jump, you can tell that Joel and Ellie are just much more comfortable with each other. And, they obviously spend 3 months traveling the country. Specifically that scene of Joel falling asleep and him waking up to Ellie standing watch and her basically saying, you've told me this and this and this. Yes, I did it. I know what I'm doing, etc. How does everyone feel about how they are now compared to where they have been just because of the time jump?
I really liked their discussion of what are you going to do after all of this, or what would you do if the world got fixed, and her talking about space is A, something from the game, but B, I like the way they built on it, and her naming her favorite astronaut, or not, actually I should say she doesn't name, she says guess, and he guesses correctly. So it's just like a fun little way to show that he does know her pretty well if he knows if he can guess her favorite astronaut.
So the astronaut stuff is part of the game then.
She does say that she wishes she could be an astronaut. That's what she would have wanted to be if she were a normal kid in a normal life.
Yeah.
Didn't we all at some point?
I love the progression of their relationship, and it shows that Joel is learning a lot about her, but she's also learning enough about Joel and learning about taking watch and using the gun, and she's learning how to survive, which is going to be helpful in the coming episodes.
I would say so. Yeah.
I mean, they're the best part of the show, right? I mean, they've got to be. They're literally the show. So I'm glad the chemistry between them is just always spectacular, and I love the sassiness between the two of them. That's the best part. Just the snide little comments, and she has the mouth of a dirty old sailor. So yeah, they're great. I love it. And she always has a gun. I always feel like she's the more dangerous, ready to just be I'm going to shoot you. Right now, I'm not going to even think about it. And so Joel's always still kind of it's just a little bit.
She is only 14, she's still learning, at least what Joel wants her to learn. So, okay. So before we get to the dam and everything in Jackson, I do got to ask you guys, did you guys, when you first watched it, did you recognize the camera crew in the bridge shot?
I saw that on TikTok today.
Oh no.
Wait, what?
So if you search it there, so when they're crossing the bridge and there's a bird's eye view of the camera shot, the crew is in the left-hand corner of the shot.
It's really, really small.
It's very faint. Of course, if you zoom in, you're going to see it. but the camera crew is on the left-hand side, which it's not that big of a deal. You know, it's a quick shot, but if we learn anything from Game of Thrones, like HBO
Yeah.
is known for leaving stuff in shows. So
I
whatever.
was gonna
you
say
know?
it's not an HBO show unless you find a little quirky thing like that.
You got to find the Starbucks cup. They should just put one in
Yes.
every show.
Exactly. That'd be awesome. But yeah, let's just jump into Jackson, because this is obviously a big part of what I'm guessing is the show overall, not just this season, but hopefully in the future, because it seems like it can kind of, to me, again, coming from a non-game player, it feels like it can be a central location in whatever the game is going to be happening now that they've kind of reached the point of getting to where they want to be. It was very cool learning about how the town kind of put itself together. And we obviously see that. I love that line of like, even though you have a bad reputation doesn't mean you're bad. Just because they're protecting themselves doesn't mean that they are bad people to themselves or anybody else.
You can see him. That's funny.
But I thought it was a really great introduction to not just Tommy and his wife, but the entire community. It felt very like when The Walking Dead was really good at creating that type of community. It was a really good kind of like showing point of like Alexandra when we're going back to The Walking Dead, or when they had a community inside the prison or the governor's town or whatever it is. I thought it was just a really cool introduction.
Did you very much get like the governor and
yeah,
like,
I got the governor's
the
town,
prison
100%.
like
yeah.
Very much was like, oh, this feels very much like The Walking Dead when they're in the town.
Yeah. All right. Well, before I let you guys answer, our fifth member is finally here. She is making her appearance. Miss Jill.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, Jill. Hello.
Traffic was traffic.
LA.
No, you're good. You're good. I just asked the question about. I just posed the question about the introduction of Jackson and the town and everything. So we're getting everyone's opinion on this. Molly, if you want to start, and then we'll kind of just go from there. What did you think about everything with Jackson as it got introduced in the show?
Woodbury. That's what it was called.
I liked it a lot. It's interesting to see Joel's kind of reaction as they're going through, giving him the tour. He's like really hesitant to be excited about all this because it seems too good to be true, and he's also like, I imagine he's thinking like, man, Tommy's been living it up over here, getting married, watching movies, like having a good old time, and I've been roughing it with this kid in the woods. But yeah, the town is really cool, and I like that they went to the lengths to explain like, how the dam is powering everything, and like they even go to like go into some of their plans for the future of the town, and how like everybody kind of shares ownership of different things. So it was cool to see all that, and it has a lot of potential to set stuff up for future seasons if we were to go back to this town.
Yeah. Or absolute disaster, one way or the other. Because
we could just burn it all to the ground.
Alex, what about you?
I thought it was interesting to see Jackson because you don't see it in the game. You stay at the dam the whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, so it's not in the first game?
It's not.
Interesting.
You run into Tommy and Maria and everyone while they're at the dam, and they're trying to get it fixed. And this was my fun thing that I learned from the podcast, the show's podcast, was that the only reason you don't go to Jackson in the game is because they ran out of time and money. They were planning on having you go to Jackson, but then they were like, let's just keep it all at the dam, I guess.
Interesting.
So yeah, you just see them at the dam, and everything that you every time that Joel interacts with Tommy is at the dam. So it was cool to see it in the show and have them get to experience that like potential what life could be like. There's a fun call out that before leaving Tommy and all of them, Tommy says like, are you sure you don't want to stay? They're going to be watching a movie tonight. And then obviously we get to see them watch a movie in Jackson. So that was fun.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So, I mean, I just, kind of tipped on it a little earlier, but so that means that Jackson is kind of a main part of what's going to be happening. If we never got introduced to it in the first game, it seems to be coming back if it was already in the second game. I'm not going to speculate, because I know you guys can't say anything.
Sounds like you're speculating.
Yeah, well, that's fair. That's fair. Jill, what about you? What did you think about Jackson and getting to see, a thriving town in the middle of an apocalypse.
I mean, it looks like you guys kind of briefly touched on my first thoughts of it. I was going, is this a Woodbury scenario where, you know, it's like this little perfect oasis in the middle of literally nowhere? So my first thought when I saw it, because I'm the pessimist, was, oh, this town's going down in flames. There's no way this civilization is going to survive. It's post-apocalyptic. It's the it's the trope that you get with these types of media, where this little quaint, happy little perfect town is not going to be a perfect town for much longer. So I'm already bracing myself for the probably certain clickers that are going to be making their way into Jackson.
Making my way downtown.
Making my way. Except they're going like, so but it was nice to see, you know, I think my favorite part of Jackson was Ellie's perspective of someone who has never experienced probably a movie before, like something we take for granted. Like she said in the past episodes, this is my first time driving in a car, you know, so she probably hasn't seen like real life active electricity from a dam, because she was like, how does this work? And Joel was like, I don't ask, I don't know. I'm like, neither do I.
Or a buffet.
A buffet?
full
We don't even
buffet.
have those anymore.
I
We
know.
don't even have buffets. Those don't even exist in our timeline. So I enjoyed it. But yeah, I'm definitely waiting for the very probably inevitable demise of the cute, quaint little town.
My favorite thing that Ellie found, where she was like, what is this? Is the diary. And she's like, do girls only care about boys back then?
Yep. And she was like, that must be nice that this was like all you cared about was like trivial things, you know? So really put it into perspective from where she was coming at it. But
Brian,
What?
Jackson, it's your turn.
Oh, I would love living there. I mean, it looks great. Like
This is the episode where you would survive.
yay!
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, I probably would have gotten. I almost swore. Messed up by the monkeys. But that's
He gets
further
food
than-
poisoning.
That's at the end.
buffet.
That's at the end.
Yeah. No, if I would have stepped foot in this town, my butt is planted firmly in the safest spot at all times. It's probably not even leaving the house.
Brian's
unless it's
chilling
to the
with the
buffet.
sheep.
Yeah. Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
Brian's gonna be the sheep farmer. I
Yeah.
love that, by the way, that Joel was like, I'm gonna get.
You're gonna live out Joel's
sheep.
fantasies, Brian. You're gonna be the sheep farmer.
That's fine. I'll run a petting zoo. But no, I mean the town is great, but like we said, it's 100% Woodbury. It's gonna go up in flames, and it's gonna be horrible. Although it was funny because I had wondered if like the plant zombies, whatever, could
Cordyceps.
survive. Yeah, could survive in the winter, and it seems like they clearly can. Like it's like cold doesn't bother
The
them
cold never
anyway.
bothered them anyway.
I know. I saw it and went for it. But yeah, no, the town itself, though. I mean, I was literally like, "Oh yeah, but they don't have." Oh no, they've got that. Oh yeah, they've got that. So yeah, I mean, who would? It's like an oasis, and we know how that goes in these type of shows. So, yeah.
All right, before we get to Joel and Tommy, which I want to get to next, we did get a super chat from Tim Sim. Tim said, dropping by to say hi to y'all, so I won't be here for long. All I'll say is several actors in this episode have delivered performances worthy of Emmys, which I honestly see as more worthy than Oscars. We're definitely going to get to that scene that
this
I'm
whole
sure everyone is
series.
talking about. Yeah. So like we mentioned how Joel was very emotional when he saw Tommy for the first time. You know, they embrace, obviously, their brothers haven't seen each other in a long time. And they have their moments throughout the episode leading into that. We have the moment of the bar where Joel pretty much cold shoulders Tommy after learning that, you know, he's married and he's going to become a father. Obviously, a very soft spot for Joel in losing Sarah and, you know, maybe reacting a little too harshly. But it's the first chance he ever got to react that way, obviously, especially with his brother. What I found interesting is it's different a little bit later on, but immediately he said that Tess was okay when Tommy asked about Tess. it was an immediate, just like, I don't want to talk about anything. She's fine. She's in Boston, etc. It comes out later on. And it maybe made that scene later on even better, having this moment. And I don't have a brother, so I can't say, but it felt like a very kind of just like brotherly moment, even though it wasn't a good one, that they kind of had those reactions to each other. And I don't know if that's something that happens in the game or not, but I thought it was a very well done scene.
Yeah, he kind of like slams his emotional doors by just like cutting that whole conversation off and being like, yeah, she's fine. And then later, it comes out.
Yeah, it all plays out fairly differently from the game, besides just where it takes place. They do embrace for the first time. Joel kind of feels like Tommy might not be happy to see me, but he is, and that there's nothing about Tommy or Maria being pregnant. They do the whole like, yeah, we got married thing, but I did like Tommy setting up those stakes of like, me leaving to go with you would be a huge deal, that I have to be more careful. But I think it plays out fairly differently, but in ways that I liked in the episode.
Yeah.
It gives them all more character development, which you need in a show like this.
Brian, Jill?
I mean, because we talked about how the first thing he said when Tess was mentioned that he was like, oh, she's fine. I think he did that because he saw that Tommy was living in like such a happy little perfect world that he was like, I'm not gonna ruin this moment. I'm gonna pretend everything's fine, because he's none the wiser. I don't want to put a damper on this happy little parade he's having, but as soon as, because this episode focused a lot on PTSD as well, with a lot of Joel's anxiety attacks, and I think as soon as Tommy mentioned that he was going to be a father, everything just reality hit Joel and was like, here's the real tea, like, and it kind of just spiraled from there. So I really enjoyed how they kind of played that whole aspect, and it showed, like Molly said, a lot of character development was portrayed in this episode, which I very much enjoyed. Always love a good character development moment.
It's cool to see Joel. Like, Joel knows what he and Tommy have done in the past, but Tommy's gotten past all that and worked through it, and now he's like living a more cushy life with a wife and a baby on the way, and Joel's just like drinking himself to sleep every night, and so that's got to be hard for siblings to see.
And I mean, Tommy was able to put up a makeshift memorial, for Sarah and for Maria's son, and so he was able to do that, and obviously he's still heartbroken about it, I'm sure, but he's able to move on. Joel can't even mention Sarah without, understandably so.
I didn't even think about the fact that Joel didn't even tell about Sarah.
No,
like, it never even crossed my mind that Ellie didn't know about Sarah until it came up.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant Tommy for a second. I was like, he was literally there.
No,
he was there. He was in the room when it happened.
I know.
And now Ellie is just going to be thinking that from now on, like, he just is doing this because he wants his daughter back.
Yeah,
like, that's got to be rough.
I mean, there's so much going on, like so many different layers, that it's almost even like hard to remember all the different things. I mean, you have Tommy and Joel. Now you have Joel with Ellie's relationship with Sarah, and Tommy's starting a family, and Joel not being happy about that. And it's just, there's so much going on, but like everyone still has their own issues. Like, no one's like living in a happy, perfect world. There's still stuff going on, and every single person's either dealing with it well or pushing it straight under with which is what Joel's doing, clearly,
until a certain moment.
When you focus in on a little town like this, like, we've seen this before, post-apocalyptic scenario where there's a little bubble town that's like supposedly doing great, but then when the story gets to that point, it becomes all about the people in that town, and like it turns into a soap opera of like who's betraying who's sleeping with who's doing this. Like
Like the Desperate
Desperate
Housewives.
it becomes like a reality show almost, with just focusing in closer on the relationships of everyone.
30 seconds. 30 minutes, 30 seconds. There's your timestamp.
Let's fast forward to the next Tommy Joel moment, which is in a what I imagine is like a leather shop or some type of shoe shop. We see Joel
somewhere manly.
Joel's trying to
Where they
fix
have
boots
man
because he's too manly to ask for a new pair of boots, and Tommy, brings him a new pair of boots and apologizes for what he said to him earlier. And then we see one of Pedro Pascal's best acting moments in I don't know how long. He just completely breaks down about everything that has happened, tells Tommy what's happening, what has happened, and then just sheds the emotional, skin that he's been holding on to for so long about he doesn't feel like he can hold on or protect her. He's not strong enough anymore. He's not the same person that he was anymore. It was incredible. And I love these moments in TV and movies when cameras just sit on a character and that actor just goes for it. And it's like a couple minutes full of just dialogue and emotion is pouring out. It's one of the best moments of the entire series for me. I don't know how important that is in the game, but I thought this was so necessary for things that are happening currently with these characters. So bravo to Pedro and the writers and everyone, because this scene was fantastic.
Completely different from the game.
Really?
And that this scene doesn't really exist.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But it doesn't need to be there in the game because everything's so different.
Well, I love what they did because it's all about Joel's fears and fear of failure, where we needed Joel to say that in the show. I don't think you need to say that in the game because you are Joel, and every time you come up to something big and scary and terrifying, you are feeling that like, how am I going to do this? And then you die 8 times. That's fair. And eventually you do it. But like every time you open a door and you're like, this room is full of clickers. God, what do I do? Like, I think that they do a good job of putting the player into that headspace of fear and anxiety. But they needed a moment in the show where Joel voices it. Like, Joel in the game is not really afraid of failure, I don't think. I mean, he's afraid that he'll open himself up to Ellie and that she might die, and that's what he doesn't want. But like, you kill hundreds of people and hundreds of zombies in the game, and he's not like deaf and weak and falling asleep. So they kind of changed just physically how he is for the show. But again, I think they did it for great reasons to make him more vulnerable and just scared all around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love moments of character moments like this, where the entire time we see him, he just has this shell. Like, he has this wall. He's not showing any emotion. He's just like, I'm just doing this job so I can get this money, and then I'm doing it for Tess. Like, that's it. Only reasons why he's just been an emotional block this entire series. And then as soon as, he sees his brother and he's finally comfortable enough to, open up. And Pedro's performance was just perfection, because I felt it. I was like, I understand. I get where you're coming from. Like, it made it real, because that's a very, like, that's a valid fear. I'm not good enough. I'm not who I was. You can do this instead of me. She had to save me. She's seen all this horrific stuff because of me, like, kind of mentality. So but I like how after that, I know you're not at that point yet, how after he had this conversation, he started to warm up to Ellie a little more, like more of, instead of just like I'm escorting you, kind of more of a little bit of a fatherly figure in a way. But yeah, this moment was 10 out of 10.
I forget which episode it was. We saw a few episodes ago him talk about like, oh, we've heard the idea of vaccines before, and that's never worked, or that's never going to happen. And so him coming to this town and seeing the potential of Ellie having a better life, of all of these people having better lives, if the vaccine was real, he's like, now's my chance. Like, this feels more real now, and the stakes are higher. Like, he's just being in that town and seeing everyone kind of thriving. I think that pushes him to make that choice.
Yeah, I mean, when he was talking to Tommy before like the whole dialogue moment really happened, he started off by saying she's immune. You know, I saw her and she's immune. You could feel how serious he was. Whereas 2-3 episodes ago, he would say it, but there was question and kind of hesitancy towards it. You can feel the difference in Joel and kind of what he's been experiencing and seeing, and obviously becoming a little bit closer to Ellie. We'll talk about that scene, but that moment in the room with the two of them was like just a catapult for what's going to happen, obviously. Brian, do you have any thoughts on that scene between Tommy and...
Most of it was said. It's just, I almost got like, it was a little bit of his first sense of hope, kind of like a little bit, where he was just like, maybe there is a chance that this could work. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's fast forward to the Ellie and Joel scene in the bedroom. After Ellie, we find out Ellie was, overhearing the conversation between Joel and Tommy. They have a little bit of a confrontation, and Joel flat out tells her, "You're going to go with Tommy," and she does not want any part of it. We have the mention about loss, and Ellie goes right back at Joel in killing it. Bella Ramsey killing it in this moment. About how her family has left her. Everyone has either left her or died, and she knows everything about loss just like him. And the only person that hasn't left her is him. And thankfully, when we wake up in the morning, it's changed Joel a little bit. And he gives Ellie a choice, as he always should have. And in the best Ellie way, she chooses him right away. Throws a bag. Let's go. Tommy's out of the picture, and they go on their little adventure. But yeah, that moment between them in the bedroom. And I know that I've seen it on social media. Apparently, that's a big moment in this game. From what I understand, it's like a very, very big, important moment. So did it feel like it was stripped right from the game and put on television?
I think it did. They talk about in the little after show thing that they tried to make that as close to the game as possible because it is such a big turning point.
I would say yes too. That is one of the most memorable scenes in the game, and it's one that I remember so vividly, the way that they read the lines, where it's like I couldn't even stop myself from comparing them, where some of the lines they changed and some of the deliveries were just a little different. And I think I like some of the lines that they read in the game a little more, but it's not that, like, that's just such a nitpick of nitpicks that but that it is like one of the most iconic scenes of the game. And I really love that they kept Bella saying everyone's died or left except fucking for you, or it's read in a way that, like, fucking doesn't go there. That's not how you would say that. But they said that Ashley, when she was performing it for the game, that wasn't written in the script. She just inserted a fucking. And
sounds like Ashley. Yeah, that sounds
she
valid.
threw that in there, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that just feels so real. Like you're trying to yell at someone, and emotions are coming out." So like that's the delivery. So I'm glad they kept it as it was delivered and not as written.
Well, it's perfect for the character too, because Ellie's cursing every freaking 3 sentences. You know.
Well, and she's a 14-year-old who grew up in the apocalypse. She's not going to know where F words go exactly. Like,
no, that's why during that dinner scene, Joel was like, "Ellie, mind your manners," and she was like, "Fuck off!" Like, what about this girl over here? Like, she doesn't know.
Yeah.
So but
I was like so pissed at Joel in that moment where he is like, just the fact that she says Sarah's name and is like, you have no idea about loss. And I'm like, Joel,
listen,
Joel, do you hear the words that you're saying right now? Come on.
Joel, do you realize you live in an apocalypse and you're probably not the only person in the world who's
he's the
experienced
only
loss?
one who's lost someone.
It's just me.
He lived half of his life in a normal life. Like, she's lived all of her life in this crap hole of a world.
Yep. And she I mean, similar to Joel expressing his fears, that was her fear, was everyone I've been with has died or has left me, and now you're doing exactly the same thing. And that's what she's afraid of. So they both came to this catalyst of literally facing their fear head on, metaphorically and literally, because they, but yeah, so many impactful scenes in this episode.
It reminded me of the moment, was it the last episode when she's talking to oh my god, I forgot the little boy's name already. Sam. And he's like, when are you afraid, or like, what are you afraid of? And she writes like ending up alone.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just connects back to that, which I like.
So this is, I think, for Brian and Jill, because obviously Molly and Alex know, but did either of you have any kind of feeling of that Tommy and Ellie were actually going to go and Joel would have had to like track him down?
No. If anything, I thought that Tommy would go with them, but I was like, there's no way Joel's not going.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Just in my mind imagined Joel at that scene, Tommy just being like, oh, thank God.
Well, it's like, that and Tommy kind of in the moment almost being like the big brother, like, good decision, bro.
Yeah.
Like, good decision, bro. Yeah. Like kind of like a grow up moment, And then I love that right before he leaves, Joel's like, can I have your gun? I need that.
I already said
the gun
yes.
that he talks about, and he's like, had the gun the whole time, and Joel's like, I need to take that off your hands. And then we get the funny moment between the two of them, of Joel trying to teach her how to shoot the gun. She can't hit the target, and Joel hits it. But let's jump ahead to the University of Colorado, and they're obviously going to find the Fireflies. They travel a week towards the university, and we get there. It's abandoned. It's full of monkeys, and they run into some raiders. I want to start with Alex and Molly in this one because this is a big change from the game, and I've seen the online chatter about this. What did you think about this scene? How it all ended up, and did you like the change that they made?
Can we wait? Sorry, I don't know. I haven't dived into what is the change that people were freaking out over.
I will.
I didn't know people were freaking out over this.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. I didn't know.
No. You're fine, Brian. You're fine. The main change is the way that he gets stabbed, essentially.
Oh, I thought the change was
he's entered
school stuff.
What's different about the school, though, Alex?
The school, not much. I mean, I think the only difference I caught in the school was how they find out where the Fireflies went next. That they're like, oh, we got to go to Salt Lake City. In the game, it's a recording. Like that's the only difference. And then the Raiders come.
I thought the change was the school stuff. I didn't realize it was.
No, so Brian in the game, just a little bit. So there's, from what I understand, that there was like some scenes you had to fight some raiders. He was fighting a raider. He gets pushed off a second story in the school, and he falls on a piece of rebar that goes through him.
Oh.
Yeah, he gets impaled.
Yeah, he gets impaled from the backside as he falls down. And in this sense, he's fighting someone outside, and he gets stabbed with the bat. I was saying about the whole online conversation, I've seen people a little upset that there wasn't more action, and it was just he was only fighting one person. Because I guess you fight a lot of raiders in the game.
Yeah,
throughout the entire game. Yeah,
okay.
I think that change makes sense because they wanted to fill most of this episode with character development stuff.
Yeah,
and then let's just get straight to the point. Of Joel gets really badly injured.
Yeah.
And now what does Ellie do?
Yeah.
I think throughout the entire game or the entire series, a lot of the action has been made a little bit smaller, except for all of the clickers, the horde at the cul-de-sac. That was bigger. But for the most part, I think they've been very smart of like, we don't have to have Joel kill 20 people in a row.
Yeah.
Because that's what the game is. Like anytime a group of raiders shows up, it's just so many. And
you're just sneaking around breaking
murder
necks.
Machine. Yeah.
Hit streak. Just flash across the street.
Yeah, basically. I did the one guy Joel kills, like that felt very much out of the game. Like get him in a headlock and then crack their neck. Like that's from the game. But I'm like, he just talked about how he's feeling weak and he's afraid he's going to fail. It's like, it doesn't make sense to have that scene and then have him just like
Throw
murder.
against 20 dudes.
Yeah, so there's one person. I was kind of like, are they gonna do the rebar thing where he falls an entire story land and is impaled? But if that happened, people would have been like, there's no way he survives that.
He would not have survived
Yeah.
falling
this
on a second
reality.
story. Like there's
In
no
the
way.
video game, you're getting shot left and right, and you just like bandage that up real quick, no problem.
Yeah.
So
you just take some Advil and you're fine.
yeah,
It's like the Resident Evil games. I'm missing my arm. Let me just put some liquid on it. We're good. Everything's
exactly.
I watched the video game comparison. It came up on my TikTok, and I love that when he fell, immediately he just goes, "Ellie, just pick me up, grab me, let's go." Like
Oh,
I'm like, dude, you're stuck on rebar. Like it's gotta hurt.
That's
Well,
just a
it
game
does.
mechanic thing. People complain about that with Star Wars games too. Like, oh, Cal is mowing down animals left and right. Like, if this was a TV show, he wouldn't be doing that. It's just a
Yeah.
game
Or the
mechanic.
light. It takes 2 hits to kill a stormtrooper versus 1. Like, yeah. I mean, I didn't play the game, so I can't say it. But to me, that doesn't seem like that big of a deal.
It's not.
Like,
It's not
I don't,
like
yeah.
it's not realistic.
Are people
I mean,
genuinely like that?
it
The
worries me
characters
that-
wind up in the same place, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
It always worries me when people are clamoring for more violence. Why?
This is violent.
Yeah,
I want
it's-
more
it's a
Order
show-
66.
Like the apocalypse already happened. The violent, like we don't need more violence.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
violence
mean, it
for the
makes more
sake of
sense.
violence.
It makes more sense for him to beat one person, get stabbed at it, and run away from the others, rather than to beat 10 and run away from another 10. Like it just kind of makes sense that way. Yeah, games. It's hard to adapt every single piece of video game to screen. I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't play the game, but I thought it. I mean, I know that in that moment when your adrenaline's rushing, because you obviously don't feel it when you're on Joel's side, and Ellie's like, dude. And he looks down and you have a freaking baseball bat handle on your stomach. And he just pulls it right out, like no problem.
When he did that, I was like, that is literally rule number 1.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Leave it in.
Don't
Hey.
pull it out.
I was like,
I was-
pack it with snow and leave it alone.
You
I was
survived
so
this long,
confused.
and the first thing you do is pull it.
Yeah.
No, you should know
Yeah.
not to do this, Joel.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I was so confused because I was expecting him to get impaled. I was like, wait, did that guy impale him with a baseball bat? What?
Molly thought the whole bat went through him.
I was like, what is going on?
That's not how
Dang,
baseball
just went
works.
Right through.
Crying in
Um,
baseball.
And look, from there, the episode ends very quickly. We see Joel and Ellie riding away on the horse. Ellie just firing off shots left and right. And we fast forward to them riding along a train track, and Joel falls off the horse. Looks like he's dead. And the episode ends. So it ends with a little bit of a bang. You know, obviously it's in question what's happening to Joel here, especially for us who don't play the game. I'm not gonna lie, it crossed through my head. Oh my god, does Joel actually die this soon? Like, does he actually die? But I know that's probably not gonna be the case. So
Well, in the game, after this all happens, you start playing as Ellie, and Joel is gone.
Oh,
really?
And you're like, what the heck?
Interesting.
What happens?
Interesting.
Oh,
Okay.
So take
Alright.
with that what you will.
oh God. Well, fun.
Now my head's just spinning.
I know.
It's just
Well,
spinning.
because I'm curious because I mean we've seen yes they've stuck very closely to the source material. They have drifted off as well. So anything could really happen, you know. So it's always that fun little where are they going to go with this? What are they going to do? So
I loved the preview for the next episode. I know we're not done talking about this one yet.
I did not. It did not. The little after thing and the preview did not show for me, so I haven't seen it.
I haven't. I
Oh.
didn't watch it.
Do you guys want to know? We don't. I mean, we don't have to talk about it. But
Whatever.
I don't
It's
care.
not like a spoiler or anything.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not going to be a
so-
spoiler if they showed it at the end of the episode.
from what I understand, it's the DLC from the game, and it's when Ellie got bit.
Yeah, we're going backwards. So
We're getting a
Oh.
flashback.
Oh, yay.
Oh, cool. Glad that they're
And
showing
we've
it.
seen that in shows or even
Oh,
movies
no.
before where you know, like a character's knocked out and someone has to tend to that character, and they take that episode to like tell a different story. We've seen that in tons of stuff before. So
Mhm.
I don't know if it's going to be the full episode, but I'm excited to see her back. What did she say? It happened in a library, I think is what she said.
No,
And
The
it was
mall.
Or a mall.
mall.
A mall.
So we're
Um,
for sure finding out who she killed.
if it
If she
happened, then
killed,
yeah.
who she killed,
If it happened, then yeah.
It's for
Who,
sure.
what,
gonna be
when?
So
What
it
the
looks like it'll be a Joel-less episode, possibly, and focus on all.
I wouldn't be
Ellie.
upset. I wouldn't be upset
would
if
I.
the entire episode is the
Yeah.
flashback.
I mean, we have 3 more, so it wouldn't. I don't think it would hurt it at all.
Yeah.
She's for sure killing one of her friends. That's for sure happening. I'm
my
calling
God.
it right now.
Wow.
So
Is it
sad.
because you're the friend, Brian? Is that how you die in this episode? You're the friend who goes with Ellie
No,
to the mall.
well, because we talked about it. She said I've killed. Who said I haven't killed someone before? Hi, Ray. And then didn't she say she went to the mall with a friend or something at some point or whatever, and the friend got effed up or something?
I don't remember.
I don't know if she
imagining
said
all
she
this.
went with someone. I don't remember if she said that she went directly with someone.
She told Tess that she went to the mall by herself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. Someone's getting shot next week.
Liza
I-
Minnelli.
It's like you're looking forward to it, Brian. Jesus.
No, I think Ellie's got like a dark, like backstory that I'm really curious to see. I mean, she clearly does, obviously.
And the mall
so-
is in the QZ. Is that correct? Do we know?
Like, it's boarded up. It's attached
Okay.
to the QZ. Like Tess said
Yeah.
something about like that mall that we're not supposed to. go
Yeah,
in, and
that's
it's blocked off
why I
for a
asked
reason.
if it was connected to the QZ, because if it was connected, I would obviously imagine it wouldn't include clickers. But if it's not, I imagine they're running into clickers. So
Well, if
Um,
it's telling the story of her getting.
I'm not
killed,
just
she
saying
has
one
to-
though, Brian. I'm
yeah.
saying like multiple. I'm saying
It's
like
not
like-
it's not a safe place.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I love what's happening now, but obviously that's a moment we've been waiting to see from the very beginning, because after learning that she was obviously bit for us who didn't play the game, I think it's a great time to tell it. Like if they're going to tell a flashback, why not tell it when Joel's passed out on the ground? So it kind of makes sense.
That's gonna be a good episode, and it's an odd
Yeah.
one, so it makes sense.
Or it's all Joel's fever dream.
He has been dreaming like crazy, and he said he's been failing in his
Ooh.
dreams. He's been failing in his dreams, so who
Hmm.
knows? All right. Any final thoughts, guys, before we wrap it up today? Any final thoughts on episode 6, episode Kin, before we head out?
I saw a couple people mention Shimmer. Is that the name of the horse?
It's the
in
horse.
game. Yeah. Cute name.
And in the show.
It's a very
Get your
horse
sheep
name.
together, Jake.
Sorry.
Wrangle your sheep.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay. That was gonna be my question. Is who the hell is Shimmer?
It's the horse.
I swear to
Yeah.
God, if we see Shimmer die at one point, I'm gonna be so upset.
I
I
would
was
be
scared for that
so upset.
I mean, I was already like uncomfortable with were they rabbits or foxes or whatever that they kept showing.
The rabbits,
at
the white
beginning.
rabbits.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we get it. They're dead animals. Okay, we get it.
Neat.
I will just say, I think honestly though, like, well, I mean, it's hard to obviously pick the emotional stuff, but I loved that couple at the beginning. I was.
Oh, I did too.
Oh yeah, Jill, you weren't here for that.
You
That's
weren't here
right,
for
yeah.
that.
I was,
I-
but they were great. I want
That
more
was-
of them.
I know. You fed them? Yeah. Just like-
Did you lie to him?
them?
No.
Are you
lying
lying
to
to
me?
She was just happy to have some company.
Yeah.
Finally, someone else besides her husband.
Yeah.
Because you know that's exactly like what. Oh crap, Fred? No, what was the husband?
Frank.
Frank would be doing the same exact thing. Like, look, friends. Like we made.
Well,
Yeah.
he did do the same thing with Joel.
I
and
know,
Tess.
and that's what I'm saying. It just made me laugh because it's like here's another example of people that are just kind of like, I'm so bored. Like it's just nice to see other people.
Socialization.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I love the beginning. Made me laugh way too hard.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up. That's going to wrap up our Last of Us discussion for today. Thank you to everyone who's been watching live. If you watch back on the replay, make sure to leave your thoughts on the episode in the comments. We would love to hear from you guys. And we'll do some quick little plugs before we wrap it up today. I'll start with Alex. Alex, where can everyone find you online?
over on Star Wars Explained. We'll be live streaming tomorrow to talk about The Bad Batch episode 10 at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Perfect. Jill?
Jilly Marie, 2 Y's, 2 E's, Twitter and Instagram. You can also catch all 5 of us this Friday on another episode of Happy Hour with Jill and Molly, where we are playing the Newlywed Game, and it's going to be a treat.
Are Jake and Brian on a team?
Jake is married now.
I'm the only actually newlywed on this show.
He is the only actual newlywed.
Yeah.
But Brian is hosting.
Forever single. Forever the host.
Don't say that.
I'm 3 for 3. Let's see. As the church bells go off. Biolosino on Twitter and Instagram. Come join my book cult on Goodreads. It's just my name. Apocalypse movies in an hour. If you want to talk spoilers for Ant-Man. And I think that's it. And Happy Hour Friday. I can't wait. I love it. Because I get to stir up the crap and then no one can get mad at me for
What
it.
are we going to argue about this time? Is it going to be toilet paper rolls? Is it going to be Taco Bell orders? What's it going to be?
I've already found, we already had Jake clip out a clip of Alex starting a fight in the group. So, over toilet paper.
He was so proud of himself too.
Look what I did.
Molly, go ahead.
You can find me at Molly Damon on Twitter, Molly Mander on Instagram. Like he said, Star Wars Explained for Star Wars things. We're live streaming tomorrow. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Yeah, TikTok. Molly's been making a lot of dumb ways to die videos.
I've been thriving over on TikTok, and it's been super fun. So follow us there.
That's what happens when Star Wars follows you.
I'm like, oh crap, I gotta post TikToks now.
Myself at Qui-Gon Jake, 2 N's, because someone else took it before I did. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Apocalypse Movies with Brian. We'll be live on Friday for Happy Hour, and our main show is live every Monday evening at 6 o'clock Pacific. Check out the Patreon. A lot of cool things happening over there. We're doing a Hunger Games trivia this weekend, so look out for that. Again, everyone watching, we thank you. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you guys next time.